2 weeks ago when I first started this, I was like, I'm going to come up with 30 conversations in 30 days. And we're a week or two in here, and I'm like, and like when I thought about those 30 conversations in 30 days, I was like, that's radical. Like no one's going to want to do 30 conversations. But I needed to get used to that. I need to do this. Like, otherwise I'll do one conversation. Maybe someone will show up, maybe someone doesn't. And then I'm like, oh, I have the whole idea wrong. And then you'll just see me disappear for a long time. Right. And what I realized from having these conversations is actually 30 conversations is nothing. Like an hour a day that's available for you, like that's really like, especially for me right now and the way that I operate, like my whole business is having conversations, being in community. Like what am I doing with the other 7 hours of the workday? Like these are the questions that I go into my mind. I'm like, if I'm not talking to someone, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to create this. I'm like, okay, actually, let me change this up. We could have 2, 3, 4 conversations in a day. Maybe some of them are 20-minute long. Some of them are an hour and a half long, like they don't all have to be like, but like we can do that. And if I look at the 30 conversations that are on the calendar right now, it's all one type of conversation. It's like the heavy, like, and I love it. Like, it's like a melting pot conversation. It's like, let's talk about who we are as people in the society and work with that. That's totally cool. But that's the only offering, more or less, and so when talking to people, I'm like, oh yeah, going forward, I'm going to start doing this thing. I think it's going to be 9 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Eastern. We'll do like 20 minutes of like, I'm calling it that joyful energy. Come get in that joyful energy, 20 minutes. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something to help us like start our days off with a little bit more joy in our day, right? Whatever that is, get into that energetic space. Mm-hmm. Once a week, we'll have like kind of basically, I'm thinking maybe at the beginning of the week and maybe again at the end, we'll see. But like 30 minutes for us to come in and share like, okay, this is my joyful intention for the week. I want to get this done. I want to get this done. This is where I'm at. This is who I want to be this week. Cool. Come in, declare it, let it be known, let it be received, let it be seen. You do that, and we just come in and we see how that continues on for you. So now I'm creating these types of, we'll do spaces where there's specifically coaching that's going to happen there. We'll have spaces where there may be some teaching or whatever it is. I don't know. I'm just like looking to see. It's almost like I'm a TV channel that said, hey, you can, like, at first I was saying you can only watch Grey's Anatomy every single day. Every day there's a different episode, but it's Grey's Anatomy. Here's the same characters, all that stuff, right? That's what I feel like the first 2 weeks have started out as. And now I'm like, oh, wait, I have other things. And some people might want to watch Grey's Anatomy and then watch, like, I don't know what else is on TV right now. Mixed-ish, and like, some people are going to make a choice to watch one. Some people are going to make a choice to watch the other. Some are going to watch both. Some are going to watch both of them live. Someone's going to pick one live. The other one watch it on DVR or on Netflix. Like, it doesn't matter. But if it's available, if it's a space, then people can come into it. So that's the idea that I have. That's the energy that I'm holding. There may be a lot of spaces that they hold that no one comes to for a while. Cool. But I'm going to let that space be there should they want to be there. And then I'm just going to do the job of, then my work just becomes, let me go find more people who would want to be in spaces with each other. And then we'll just keep growing that out. And there will be, there will be the way I'm looking at it is like, there are going to be bands around this where like certain types of sessions, like let's say I'm doing more coaching, that will be like a certain band where it's like a paid area where if you're getting coaching on a regular basis, that's closed, that's like behind, like it's still recorded, but only shared by the people that are there. But every once in a while, the coaching will happen publicly and in the general availability. But I'm like, if I'm doing at least 1 hour a day in like just the overall general World Joy Movement space, I will never look at my work as, I don't know, that's 5 times more than most people will give in any given thing, So I'm sharing a bit with you about like the vision of creating this as a community, starting out with like the types of sessions that are there, and then bit by bit like once we're getting into community, then it's like, okay, how do we take it outside of this space and so on and so forth. But I wanted to just kind of share that vision with you, share what's kind of coming up here, see any reactions you have from it, and then let you go eat and relax and everything like that.
It is very intriguing because I have a friend and like a business partner who actually is a member of World Joy Movement because I invited him,
Mm-hmm.
who has a very almost identical vision to yours.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he has a network, a Channel 82 network. It's an entire network where creatives live. And it's for to have us place one place you can go to where all things creative. I mean, from food to fashion to coaching. I'm the coach, the single um, coach person on the show, to poetry, to writing, to artwork, all things creative, basically, because the logo in it is where creators live. Um, and it's a whole network. And he's a very busy person, and he also still works a regular job, um, and has they have collected him and his wife about 5 kids. So very a lot going on, but I've always been on board. It's a long-term friend of mine, and we connected professionally last year before me joining TE. Um, and he's done a lot of things like you've never seen my logo, but he started as an artist. He designed my logo for me by just listening and knowing me. I told him kind of what I wanted, and he came up with this thing. I was like, oh, I didn't even know what it was, and he had to explain to me. I was like, what the heck is this? Because that was going to be the one I was going to say, this is a definite no. And then I was like, I should ask what it is. And then when he pointed it out, and I was like, this is all me. It has the hands of embracing, it has a heart, it has a person, it has the seed I was talking about illuminated, and it says exuberance across the top. And this is me with Mary LP, and I don't like by Mary LP, I like with, because I'm inviting people to be with me. And it's just great. But you saying that made me think of that. And I think to me, the only difference is yours is more of your interactive stage of this is the space that people come into, and this is the full network that like the channel that you go to find all these things that is outside of the typical social media, Facebook and all of that. Because I think him and I had that conversation where we talked about um, one of the things that led to that, besides from a vision with his spiritual thing, was being outside, like creating your own thing and not being confined to these guidelines like we know Facebook has, and then you do it and they put you in jail. That you can really have true free expression and really be creative and not have your creativity um boxed in, if you say. So I'm like, wow, to hear that, and I'm like, there's something there that's drawing me to people with this connection, and these things are all aligned, and I'm really just like, where's the dots? I mean, I'm seeing the dots, but I'm like looking, here comes the lines and the loops, they're dotted lines and they're coming together. So I'm starting to see a lot of ways that all the different things that I'm into is connected. And it's like, wow. Because also I've put my community, C4E, is like at a standstill now. Um, and do you know Gabriel from
I've
TE?
never met him, but I remember you talking about him.
He's okay. So he's a part of it, but he's had to pause on it. And I was trying to go back to the drawing board. I had to restructure, reframe how to do what we're trying to do, and the message and the actual action that we're trying to do with it. So I was like, okay, it's something connected to something. And I don't know what's inside of what or beside what, but it's making more sense to hear that where you're going in the direction with your vision. I know his vision. He's told me his direction. I know mine's. I know. And so to hear all these visions, these missions, these messages, movements, all the things and how it aligns somehow, it's like I'm like ecstatic. That's why I was just smiling while you were just talking. I was like, let me hear the whole thing, and I was just sitting here like this, like, wow, okay, all right. This sounds very familiar, but also another step. And I was like, interesting, very interesting.
Oh, I'm so happy you brought this in here. What is his name?
Morio, Wilson.
Morio.
He goes by Morio J. He's on Facebook, whatever. But I think he signed up because I didn't have the right email.
I've seen Channel 82.
Yeah. That I think that's what the email he ended up signing up as, Channel 82.
Okay.
Network.
Okay.
And I forget. I think it's CHA, the number 8.
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah.
I have some. There's a podcast. I have a couple pieces on there, and I have some other things. A part of it has been featured in different things from the beginning, from the first season. Yeah, the first one came out on my birthday. The one I first did was last year, 2/2/20. I put out a piece called "Okay." It's a very short piece, but ever since I put it out, it did for me, just like you said about going back and looking at today's thing. It did for me what I didn't realize, because it's now 2021, well past February, and I go back and listen to it, and I was like, that's me. And it takes on new meaning and like what it actually means to me now. And I wrote it actually way before, like years ago. Didn't think, no, I'm just gonna put a little piece out here. This is an easy one to do. And the feedback that I've gotten from the people I've shared it with, like emotional tears, and like it's a very simple piece, and it's done a lot for me. Going back to listen to my own things, so having different spaces, like the space to create, to take action, to move, to dance, and make change. I think that's where it is. And for people like me, someone like me, I know that's what helps me, because I will forever just sit there and like, ooh, in my little creative space, like Einstein or something, and not actually do it, like put it out there to anybody, until I have a space or accountability and somebody says, hey, here, you can come here. And I may not even initially come. I may initially come and feel back and forth. But it's like knowing that I have that means a lot. And it does a lot for me. And I that's why I lean into. So I'm very honored that you shared that vision with me, and where you're going, and it sounds very nice. I get it. I really see it. People say, visions like that, they think, oh, it's hard. No, I get it. I get it. I totally get it.
It's the World Joy Movement. Yeah. What was your greatest insight from this conversation? And if you want to come and be a part of a conversation like this live, it's really simple. Just go to beworldjoy.com and come introduce yourself, and let's take the conversation to the next level, because you're there now.
All right, let's play.